So last time, ang pinag-usapan natin is the dysfunctions of the team. But of course, tayo, as we realize our weaknesses, as we realize yung ating areas na kailangan natin improve, ang desire ng heart natin lahat is to create a high impact team. No? A high impact team basically is, kung titingnan natin yan, hindi naman yan hindi yan made up of uh, made up of young upstart na superstars, no? And yung sinasabi nila, there's no I in team. Kaya yun yung madalas nating marinig, di ba? Pero if you will look at at the center of unite is the letter I. So it doesn't it doesn't really mean that it simply means that as a team, to create a high impact team is to look at the team simply for what it is. It is a well-oiled machine. It's highly performing group of men and women who are accountable to one, and I'll go that later on. Okay, let me begin by asking this question: what, in your opinion, is a team? And what is the thing that can best describe a team for you? Okay? Ano sa inyo? Ano sa inyo ang ano? Maybe we can get some responses, no? Ano yung for you, what is a team? Anong definition niyo ng team? Okay?
Ako, Pastor Ned, siguro, group
Sige.
of men with a common goal.
Okay, group of men with a
people.
common goal. Okay,
Group of
ano pa?
people with a common goal.
Yeah. What else? Sino pa ang gustong magano? Okay, alam ko ang mga leaders natin parang diesel eh. Sa umpisa kailangan mag-init bago sumagot. So, let me just give a corporate definition of a team. Ang Boston University defined team this way. A team is a group of individuals who work together to produce products or deliver services for which they are mutually accountable. Team members share goals and are mutually held accountable for meeting them. They are interdependent in their accomplishment, and they affect the result through their interaction with one another. Because the team is held collectively accountable, the work of integrating with one another is included among the responsibilities of each team. So if you are going to look at this, no, it's you cannot have a team of one. It is a group of individuals who work together. So ibig sabihin, sabi nga Jeremy, it is kailangan nagkakaisa sila for a common goal, yun yung shared goal. And then ang key is actually holding each other mutually accountable. Okay? And then sabi rito, they are interdependent in their accomplishment. In other words, the sum is greater than all the parts. To bring it all together to create a high impact team. No, yan yung definition ng Boston University of what a team is. And we've seen teams that really perform well, no? So sa basketball, 'di ba? We have the Golden State Warriors, 'di ba? They have been champions in the NBA. I think I don't know if they're in the playoffs now. I really don't follow the NBA. And then dito sa Philippines, they say that Google is the number one company to work for in the Philippines. So that's their claim. And according to Forbes, the number one company and best employer globally is Microsoft. And of course, atin, by the grace of God, as we have formed the team, we have actually grown. No, we have actually grown. CCF has actually grown to 85 satellites by God's grace as of this month, and we're excited as we move forward and grow further. Pero as we look at all of this, we would envisage teams as a noun. No, it's a definition. But the truth is, team should be viewed as a verb. Okay, it is something that you work on. It is an action that you do. Every member of the team has a part to play. Okay? Sa isang team, walang fence sitter diyan. Okay, walang fence sitter diyan. Every member of the team has a part to play. Alam ko that most of you I don't know kung nabigay ko na example dito, but Ah, marami sa atin, I'm sure nagbabike, di ba? We bike either recreationally or competitively, di ba? And I bike a lot, no, until my work has crowded it out. Pero one thing that I appreciate about the bike is the way every single part actually every single part of the bike actually has to work very smoothly. No, even yung pinakamaliit na tornilyo, yung nasa likod, yung pinakamaliit na tornilyo. Pag mali yung tono mo diyan, ah, yung shifting mo, magi-skip yung yung chain. And for a recreational biker, it's very annoying, no. And for somebody who does competitive biking, it is something that can determine whether you will ito tawag na DNF, you will not finish the race, or you will come in na hirap at malayo. So whenever I bike, I would make sure that I would check every single yung function niya to make sure that every part of that bike, yung bike ko would really work para yung aking ride with my team would be smooth. It is the same, no? It is the same with the team. Every single one of us, every single member of the team has to work with each other uh, effectively, has to be diligent in knowing their part, has to actually remove themselves from the picture, and look at the end goal as priority over my own personal or the team members' personal agenda or personal direction. Okay, so a team is a verb. It is something that you need to work on, and there are four components of a high impact team that we need to take into consideration as we build the team together. Number one is that a high impact team should have a vision. Okay, even in the Bible it says if there is no vision, people perish. No? Why? Because vision is a picture of what will happen if we fulfill our mission. It is something that actually a shared vision, a shared strong common vision actually unites. Okay? It unites people kasi meron silang shared dream, meron silang shared aspiration. So to create a high impact team, if you are, let's say, nasa ministry ka, you need to be able to cast a very strong vision to your team members, okay, as to what your objective is, what your purpose is, and where do you want to take your people. Okay, a vision is something that we need, that has to be very strong. James Clear says this: you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin niyan? Kahit na meron kayong goal, okay, even if you have a goal, personal goal or team goals, uh, your capacity to reach that is not in really tattooing in your mind what your goal is, but rather in the behavior and the habits that you build up on a day-to-day basis. Okay, on a day-to-day basis. So if you know your goal and your system or your disciplines are aligned to that goal and you build it up, no? Ito yung sinasabi na the power of 1%. Ito yung sinasabi ni James Clear na the power of 1%. If you improve yourself 1% every day or 1% every week, no, in doing something, by the end of the year you would have exponentially developed a habit that can bring you from where you are right now to the point to a more uh, accomplished team. No, so it's basically habits and routines. So second is yung ating strategy, no? So vision, and then you have your strategy. It is an action plan that enables us to accomplish our mission and vision. Now, why is this important? uh, having a vision without any idea or at least a frame of getting things done, the vision is nothing but a dream. In other words, when the people you lead, okay, kunyari meron kang nililid ng mga tao, and you let them buy into a vision, they will, for a moment, at least for the first few weeks or the first few months, they would actually, anong tawag dito, they would gravitate towards you. Pero the moment they see na wala kang idea on how to get there, kahit na general yan, they would start to think na panaginip lang siguro to, hindi ito mangyayari. Diba? So you need a strategy. Ito yung sinishare kanina na sabi ni James Clear, no? You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. The daily habit that you develop, okay, the daily habits that you develop actually adds to developing for people to see clearly that meron kang plano to reach your vision, and they are part of getting it done. So each one of you would have to develop or do the thing that they need to do to develop each other para sabay-sabay kayong nag-grow, sabay-sabay kayong lumalakad, at sabay-sabay kayong yung team becomes stronger. Okay? So first you have vision. Second, you have strategy. The third one is understanding your priority. Okay? Priority means something that is more important than other things and that need to be done or to be dealt with first. Okay? Yan ang ibig sabihin ng priority. Marami tayong I read this book, no? It's entitled actually niya is The Four Disciplines of Execution, or your 4DX. And what they are saying is this: there will always be more good ideas than there is capacity to execute. Okay? Ulitin ko there will always be more good ideas than there is capacity to execute. In other words, marami tayong pwedeng ideas sa ilagay. So meron tayong vision, meron tayong strategy. Pero pag crowd natin yung strategy with all the great ideas, we will not be able to get anything accomplished. So priority is getting all those great ideas that we have to reach our goal as a team, and then arrange them according to the impact that it will have in reaching our goal and in growing ourselves as leaders, no? So in other words, among all the great ideas that you may have, let's say in Sunday experience, in Vision events, among all the great ideas that you have, you need to have the courage to choose the top two great ideas and focus on it. Okay, and focus on it. That way, hindi kayo distracted, at meron kayong how do I call it? Hindi kayo distracted, at meron kayong focus on what you need to do. You know, ang tubig, 'di ba? Ang tubig pagkalat, 'di ba? Pagkalat siya, pwede mong gamitin panghugas. Pero kunyari, meron kang gustong putulin, it cannot cut anything, right? Kalat lang siya. It waters down, babasain niya yung area. Pero the moment you concentrate it and let it pass through a very, very thin, very, very thin siguro pipe, no? It becomes so strong, it becomes so focused na yung pressure ng tubig can actually cut into metal. That's what priority is all about. It is making your team so strong that yung focus inyo, you're able to cut through whatever it is that will stop you from hitting your goals. Okay? So, anong sabi ni John Maxwell when it comes to the law of priorities? Okay? Sabi niya, yung x-axis is the important, and kasi ang ating ginagawa, yung mga things that we do, ano yan eh, perspective yan in terms of importance. So, meron siyang 4 na quadrant na pinapresent. Quadrant 1 says, important but not urgent. Okay? Ito yung an example of this is a long-term goal. Okay? Something that you need to do in the next 2 to 3 months or na kailangan yung gawin para that is important for you to meet the goal. You now decide to spread out yung schedule to be able to do it. And then sa quadrant B, quadrant 2, it is high importance and high urgency. Okay, it is important and it is urgent. Then do it immediately. Ito yung mga time-sensitive things that we need to do, that we need to get out of the way immediately because it will affect how the other members of the team work. Okay? So pag nakita mo ninyo na nandyan yung yung urgent and important, then do it immediately. Yung third quadrant is not important and urgent, not urgent. Okay? According to John Maxwell, you do it later. Okay, you do it later. Ang actually, okay yan, do it later. But if it is not urgent and not important, that means it is not something that you even have to do. No, i-discard mo siya. Okay, kasi kunyari, not urgent, not important. Example, manood ng Netflix. Diba? It's not urgent, it's not important. No, you just do it. Yung pag ano sa Facebook, yung pag scroll sa Facebook, diba, looking into it. Sabi nga nila, Facebook is a black hole yan eh. Pag inumpisa mo, ubos ang oras mo, diba? So if it's something that's not important, it's not urgent, it doesn't affect or does not contribute anything to the purpose of what you're doing, then you set it aside. Okay, set it aside. I-archive mo na lang yan. And then yung Q4 or quadrant 4 is urgent but not important. No, delegate it to somebody else. Get somebody to do what is urgent but not important. If it will not have a direct effect on the things that you need to do. Okay, so you now have yung first 3. You have your vision. You have to know where you want your people to go. Second, you have your strategy, understanding how you want to get your vision. Third is your priority, sifting through the whirlwind that's going on to be able to find that wildly important goal that you need to accomplish. And finally, execution. Okay, execution is to carrying out or putting into the effect of the plan, order, or course of action. Execution is what we do now, that we are clear when we are clear about our priorities. In other words, when your priorities are already clear, then you now ask yourself, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to execute and implement yung ating action plans, yung ating strategy that will help us that will move us closer to the things that we need to do. Last weekend, I did a planning retreat with the pastors of South Luzon and all the satellites of South Luzon and all the satellites of North Luzon. So pinag-combine ko sila. And as we were going through, when we started to work on the plans for 2025, sabi ko sa kanila, ano lang tayo, isa lang ang focus natin. Our wildly important goal for 2025 is discipleship. It is each one raise one. Everything that we do, okay, every strategy that we make, okay, every event that we do should lead us towards getting people assimilated into small groups. Okay, so yan yung and then finally, so nagplano-plano kami, and then they came up with their action plans, etc. So ngayon, ang question ko for them that they will be doing is this. Okay, now that we know that we have agreed on our targets, both quality and quantity and percentages. And now that we know our yung ating target for next year, how do we action plans for next year? Ang challenge ko now, what do we do to execute and achieve our target as a team, as a region, as a hub, and as satellites. So ganun yung ano namin. So si regional pastor together with the hub pastors, nag-usap sila ano yung mga area that we can collaborate and work together. And then yung mga satellite pastors, ano yung they will meet with the COS and bring down the direction and plan out, okay, how can we execute yung plano natin for yung planong na nagawa at the regional level down to the satellite level. So that way, iisa yung direksyon. Okay, iisa yung pupuntahan. So yan yung ibig sabihin, knowing how to get things done. Bossy Dean Sharan, in his book Execution, says this: leadership without the discipline of execution is incomplete and ineffective. Without the ability to execute, all other attributes of leadership become hollow. In other words, you can have the best plan, okay, and you can have the best strategy, okay. You can have identified the top priorities. If we fail to have the discipline of breaking down the tasks to be able to achieve and execute them at the ground level, then whatever plans that we have will actually hindi talaga natin siya ma-attain. Okay, so again, the four components of a high impact team. First, you need to have a vision. Sa atin, sa CCF, alam natin ang vision, to see a movement of millions of Christ-committed followers of the Lord Jesus Christ, meeting in small groups, transforming lives, families, communities, and nations for the glory of God. We have our strategy for that we have defined, and it became one of our big rocks. It is H1, raise one, okay, or double the number of D group leaders year after year, okay. That gives us priority in terms of our growth. We have our priority, it's discipleship. Okay, yan ang priority natin. Everything that we do should be, everything, including our worship service, should be to bring people into a personal relationship with God and engaging them to take their journey through discipleship. And then finally, execution. Ano ang gagawin natin? How do we now execute yung details of the plans so that our priorities can be done? Okay, so yan yung four components of a high impact team. So, what are the questions that you will have to ask based on the four execution of disciplines for execution? Number one, you ask your team, no? Mag-usap-usap kayo. Having this vision and this strategy and this mission, each one vision, what catapults us towards accomplishing our vision? Okay? Ano yung mga breakthrough activities? Ano yung mga paradigm shifts that you need to have? Thinking out of the box. Okay? Second, what will bring God the glory most? Okay? What will bring God the glory most? What will produce the most kingdom fruit? Okay? Ano yung gagawin natin to produce the most kingdom fruit that will create exponential growth in the body of Christ, who will be loving the Lord? What will bring exponential result? What will result into spiritual impact? So these are the things that you need to ask. These are the things, and when you start asking these these questions, it now ang ginagawa niyan is it narrows down, no? It narrows down your focus so that you will be able to see yung gusto ninyong mangyari at yung priority, magka-clarify yan in terms of your priority. Now, a Chinese author and philosopher Lin Yutang said this: besides the noble art of getting things done, there is the noble art of leaving things undone. The wisdom of life consists of the elimination of non-essential. So, ang ibig sabihin yan, Ano yung gagawin ninyo? Okay? Ano yung gagawin ninyo? What do you say yes to? And what do you say no to? Okay? What do you say in your satellites, in your sa inyong ministries, no? It's so important for us. Okay? It's so important for us to be able to have the courage. Una-una, the wisdom from the Lord to balance everything, see the priority, see the impact of what we are going to do on our goal, and say yes to the things, kahit konti yan, say yes to the things that will add value, and say no to the things that will simply be a distraction to you. Okay? I think ang difficult dyan is saying no. Okay? Ang dami nating reason for not saying no, that we fill our schedule, but the discipline of being able to say no to something in favor of saying yes, uh, to bring you closer to your goal is takes a lot of courage. Okay? Kasi pagka nag-no ka sa isa, uh, masasaktan yung, kunyari sa amin, Pastor, pwede ka ba mag-preach sa amin? Then sasabihin mo, alam mo, meron kami ibang ginagawa ngayon, maybe this time, I cannot do it, di ba? And then, minsan may sasamaan loob, etc. But, yun yung point ni Lin Yutang. When you say yes to something, you have to remove something from your plate to replace it. And at pagka marami kang ni yes, the pressure becomes difficult, and it actually distracts you from what you need to do. Okay? So, let's go to the next one, the 7 characteristics of a high impact team. So, ano yun? So, meron ka ng vision, meron na kayong strategy, di ba? Meron na kayong priorities, alam niyo na yung priorities nyo, and then you now know that you need to execute. Ano ngayon ang gagawin mo? You need to work as a team. But to be able to work as a team, you need to be able to harness the strengths and also to mitigate the weaknesses of each one of us. The Bible says that the Holy Spirit gives us at least one gift for the edification and growing of the body of Christ. And here is where we need to be able to truly get things done and bring about the team, bring people into the team and move them to where the Lord wants them to get. The difference between our situation as a church, okay, and sa corporate setting is this. In the church, you need to work with volunteers. And it is not easy to work with volunteers. Okay? Lalo na pagka sinabi nila, volunteer lang naman ako rito. Bakit? Ang dami-dami pinapagawa. Wala pang naisa yan. Dami pinapagawa. Volunteer lang naman ako rito. Di ba? So sometimes we go from one extreme to the next. No? Sabi nga, kung ayaw mo, wag mo. Or to the other extreme is we double down and just let them do what they want to do. Okay? So, there are 7 characteristics of a high impact team. Let's go to them one by one. Number 1 characteristic is common purpose. Okay? What is the function? Each team member has a deepening commitment to each other and to the team purpose, which overcome their individual agendas. The team's purpose and vision is clear, shared, and compelling. It is relevant to the members, significant, achievable, and challenging. Now, take a look at the way it's defined. If you have a common purpose, what is more important is you need to have a commitment, not only to the goal, but to each other. Okay? You need to have a commitment to each other. You need to when you say yes and you become part of the team, hindi ito reluctant leadership o hindi ito reluctant teammate na one foot in, one foot out. When you say yes, make sure that both fit in ka, because it requires to be able to have a high impact team. Sabi nga nila, di ba, no turning back ito. I am part of this team. I will be part of this team. I am fully committed to this team because we have a common purpose. So there has to be a deepening commitment to one another as a team and for the team purpose. Okay? There has to be trust. Second is collaborative. Second is collaborative roles. What is a collaborative role? Okay, maximize contribution of each member of the team. The tasks are clear, divided to be shared. Each person understands his or her own role. Each part of the task is covered. People understand the connection and roles do not conflict with each other. People are matched with a role that fits their skills, interests, temperament, and experience. And everyone agrees and understands and agrees the role assignment. One of the things that I do no, with the team, with my team, is I want to make sure na very clear yung direction, very clear yung function ng bawat isa, and I want everyone to understand that the action of one will impact the action of another. Okay? Na pagka yung isa hindi ginawa yung dapat niyang gawin, okay? Ang impact niyan is yung output niya can affect the input of the other person. And so it magkakaroon ng breakdown. So it has to be very clear. Kailangan walang overlaps. Okay? Overlaps in function, overlaps in the things that we do. Why? Because overlaps is a waste of time. You are both doing the same without you even knowing it. You are both doing, or members of the team are both doing the same thing for the same function. Okay? And ang result niyan is create certain gaps. Gaps naman is when nobody does what needs to be done because akala niya yung ginagawa niya, yun yung dapat niyang gawin. Akala nung isa, yung ginagawa niya, yun dapat niyang gawin. Tapos merong gap na naiiwan na hindi nagagawa dahil nag-overlap yung function nila. Okay? So, kailangan maging clear yung role nila. Okay? And then, dapat maging collaborative. And how do you do that? We go to the third. There has to be clear communication. Understanding and cooperation of each other. Teams working relationship is based on trust, yet expects disagreement or differences and embraces it as a means to better decision making. So in a team, kung anim kayo, ito yung tinatawag ko na one voice, one vote. Every member of the team has a voice. Every member of the team has a vote. But in the end, the leader, should be able to sift through all those agreements and disagreements and bring the group into the right direction. So there has to be very clear communication. So minsan ang dapat kunyari nagkakaroon na ng disagreements in the direction. The leader kayo should be able to say okay, i-clear lang natin para malinaw. Ano yung purpose natin? Okay? Kasi baka mamaya yung pinag-uusapan natin iba na. Okay, so pwede bang then you call one person? Okay, can you just again share with us ano yung pinag-uusapan natin? Just to be able to articulate what needs to be done. So if there's clear communication, they understand one another, they understand the gravity or the significance or the importance of what they do, and then they build that working relationship. Walang sisihan, no? Yung naka-assign sa iyo, gawin mo and I will help you, we will work together. Pero kailangan lahat walang gaps na naiiwan. Okay? That is part of our execution as well. Number 4 is committed leadership. Okay, committed leadership. Members are synergized towards mutual purpose and vision. The members own the vision. The team leader stirs up the vision, sets the general direction, networks organizationally, resources the team, facilitates problem solving, coach individual, adjust leadership style to the needs of the team and the task. So the leadership, yung pinaka-team head, ang role niya is to really coordinate everything within the team. No? It is keeping the eye on the dashboard. Okay, keeping your eye on the dashboard, keeping your eye on what really matters. And then making sure that everybody works toward what matters. Yun, kasi dashboard mo, yun yung measure mo. Di ba? So pagka kunyari sa team, merong nagsasabi, nag-go off tangent, You always need to get back to, okay, ano connection yan sa each one raise one? Di ba? Remember, yan yung ating dashboard, yan yung target natin. Simplified, one thing that we need to do is ito. Okay, ang gagawin mo na yan, how does it come in? So, ang gagawin niya is to be able to make sure the leader should be able to identify ano yung needs nila to succeed. No? Ako, I would always ask, okay, ano yung kailangan yung help from me to help you succeed in the task that God has given you. Okay? And then of course, lahat sila magsasabi, and then ang role ko is to process everything and ask questions like, okay, bakit kailangan mo yan? Ano yung end result niyan? Bakit ano magiging impact niya sa kanila? Okay? So that way nakikita mo and natutulungan mo sila stay focused, and they will see you as a credible leader who knows exactly what needs to be done and what needs to be asked. Okay. Number 5 is cultivated relationships. Okay, there is built solid trust between members. Love is expressed with trust, understanding, acceptance, courtesy, mutual accountability. Each member understands and accepts the personality, strength, need, and limitation of each member and their leader. The trust that has to be developed among the team members is the understanding that we do not have all the skills, we do not have all the gifts, and God has brought us together as a team because my weakness is the strength of somebody else, and my strength is the weakness of somebody else. So putting all of us in the team, we have our strengths and weaknesses, and when we begin to understand yung strengths and weaknesses ng teammates natin, two things will happen. They become accountable to you, and you are able to add value to their lives. Okay. Number 6 is cooperative process. There is facilitated decision making and problem solving in the team. The team is self-aware, and self-critical, seeking to maximize functioning together and mutual accountability. So there's facilitated decision making. On a weekly basis, meron kami ginagawa yung tinatawag naming hot list. No, ano yung plano natin, ano yung napag-usapan natin last week, ano yung dapat nating magawa, bakit hindi natin nagawa yan, diba? Ano yung dapat natin ginawa to accomplish everything, what caused the lag, etc. So it is holding people accountable for what they need to do. And as you do that, di ba, you facilitate the decision making, and then they feel that tama naman, I have to be accountable to this, di ba, it's my fault, dapat ginawa ko to. So the process, the relationship goes deeper, and they begin to understand na kung ano man yung sinasabi ninyo, it's not an attack to the person. It is finding a solution to what is lagging. Okay? And number 7 is commended achievement. The heart of every individual in the team are encouraged. There is celebration of individuals as well as the teams itself, and team's achievement are rewarded to further motivate and encourage teammates. You celebrate the wins, no matter how small it is. Okay? Every single step as you draw nearer, okay, to your goal, you start celebrating it. Example, each one race month, yung isang member mo nakapag-umpisa, nakapag-share ng real talk. Then as a team, you celebrate with him. Okay, celebrate him kasi that begins his journey, and that also begins the journey of the person that he is growing, diba? Kunyari may nadagdagan yung nag-worship sa inyo, may bagong na nag-sign up, celebrate it, diba? Celebrate. Hindi naman yung bonggang party, but you praise the person, you encourage the person, and then you pray with them, and then you ask them, okay, ano pwede namin gawin, maitulong para mag-grow yung ginagawa mo? How can we help you sustain what you have started? Okay? So the 7 characteristics of a high impact team. Number 1, common purpose. Number 2 is collaborative role. Number 3 is clear communication. Number 4 is committed leadership. Number 5 is cultivated relationship. Number 6 is cooperative process. And number 7 is commended achievement. So if you will notice all of this, 4 characteristics of a high-impact team falls on tasks. It is the discipline of doing what needs to be done. 3 is based on relationship. It is having genuine love for one another and wanting each one to succeed so that the entire team succeeds. That is what creates a high impact team. So I hope you enjoy your breakout. No? So you have studied the 7 characteristics of a high impact team. Common purpose, collaborative goal, clear communication, committed leadership, cultivated relationship, cooperative process, and commended achievement. Now, ang foundation of for any team to really grow, no, there has to be something. We need to do something. Pero ang pinaka foundation niya is mutual respect. Mutual respect for each other. And yung next part will actually look at how we can develop mutual respect for one another and develop the relationship among ourselves and strengthen the bond as a team as we add value to one another. So ano yung dapat nating gawin to be able to develop a high impact team? We need to be good stewards of whatever it is that God has given us. God has made us stewards of our time, stewards of our talents, stewards of our resources, diba? And stewards of the team that has been given to us. So to be able to have this, we need to understand the ethics, the stewardship ethics that we need to live by. Okay? And etong part na to is really, really very practical. The first thing that you need to do is actually to show up on time. Okay, show up on time. Ang meeting, ang lagi ko ako stickler ako for time eh. And if I'm going to be late, I would always kunyari malilate ako, I would message my team and tell them na I will be late, I'll give the reason why. Bakit? Para hindi sila naghihintay. Now, ano ba ibig sabihin ng show up on time? Punctuality is not so much about being on time, or as it is respecting other people's time and your own commitments. The small decision to always be punctual is evidence of a good work ethics. Now, bakit ito importante? Kasi ang inaalagaan mong time is not only your own time, di ba? You need to also respect the time of others. In fact, in our meetings, I would always remind, kunyari may malilate, I always tell them na magsabi kayo kasi we want to start on time. Right? We want to start. And kahit na kunyari ako malilate, I would tell my team, mag-start na kayo. Don't wait for me. Hahabol na lang ako. You start. Alam niyo naman ang pag-uusapan. Okay? And also, you need to understand no, na you should not penalize those who are on time by waiting for those who are late. Or you should not penalize your teammates who are on time for them to wait for you to start the meeting. Okay, so yun yung una. Punctuality is really a show of respect. Respecting the people in the team. Okay, respecting yung kanilang commitments, respecting that they have carved out this particular time in their schedule, specifically to attend the meeting that you've started. Meron silang pwedeng nilagay dyan, pero hindi nila nilagay because nandyan ka. So, the best way to respect that, to show respect to them, is to show up on time and start the meeting on time. Okay? Second is this. Do it now. Okay? Don't procrastinate. Ano ibig sabihin nun? If you have been given a task, make sure that you get it done as soon as you can. So, pagka may binigay na task, it's incumbent upon us that when a task is given to us, we give ourselves a deadline. Okay? We give ourselves a deadline. And the deadline that we need to set should be shorter than the actual deadline that the team has agreed on. Okay? Bakit? Para pagka nagkaroon ng aberya yung ginagawa mo, meron kang time to tell the team. Diba? Tell the team, look, I know that we have set this, pero as far as I've been working on this, mukhang hindi ako aabot. Okay, so they get informed. Do the hard things first. Prioritize. Okay, do the hard things first. Okay, sa ating to-do list. So every morning, if you have your to-do list, get the most important and the hardest things done more para yung iba, you can take the time to do the rest that you need to do. And then third is break it down. Okay? Sometimes a task that has been given to you is overwhelming. Na pag tinignan mo as a whole, it would appear like parang ang hirap gawin. So, ikaw personally, ang first step that you can do is you start breaking up the task or the task that's been given to you into small chewable pieces spread over time. Okay, so i-break down mo ano yung una mong gagawin, ano yung magiging impact nito sa susunod. If you're familiar with doing a Gantt chart, you can probably do a Gantt chart for yourself para makita mo rin how it will impact others. Okay, so first, arrive on time. Second, do it now. Pangatlo is take the initiative. Okay, take the initiative. This is about being a self-starter. Every supervisor loves to have people on their team who are proactive and self-initiating. They are not passive, sitting around waiting to be told what to do. Being a self-starter is not about gifting. It is a mindset. It is about choosing to have an internal attitude that is proactive. Alam mo, ako, I'm personally blessed by my teammates. No, both sa NCP team heads and even sa NCP committee. Okay? Because they all take the initiative. In fact, there are times when yung pinag-uusapan pa lang namin yung mga tasks, let's say pagka nagmi-meeting kami with team heads, and then nagsishare ako ano yung nakikita kong dapat na direction. They're already thinking ano yung pwede lang gawin. And before the end of the day, actually, meron ng mga responses. O, itong gagawin natin is what we need to do. And, it makes life easier for me, no? And hindi naman to the point na, hayahay na lang ako. But it makes life easier for me. It allows me to do more thinking. Okay? More analyzing and looking at certain process. It frees me up from all of these things, no? And another benefit of us taking initiative is that alam natin that when a task is assigned to us, alam natin na gagawin. Okay, pagka may pinapagawa, we can already say, look, pwede kong gawin yan, pwede kong silipin yan, pwede kong anuhin yan. So, yung team becomes, it makes it easier for the rest of the team. One thing that we should avoid is when we start looking around and then comparing what we are doing with the others. Sasabihin natin, teka muna, bakit parang ako na lang yata gumagawa ng lahat, bakit sila hindi na, di ba? And then you'll rein yourself in, and then yung pala, without us even knowing, meron pala sila ginagawa that will impact. So focus on what you can do, take the initiative, okay? Plan out ahead of time ano yung pwede mong idagdag sa task, breaking down the task list so that the team can move together ng sabay-sabay. Number 4 is care about the whole. Okay? When you say care about the whole, this means that you always look at the task, no, from the perspective of the sum is always greater than its parts. In other words, ang definition nga dito is people who have a strong work ethics don't just care about their area or department. They don't view their area as an independent silo, but rather they are clear about how their area contributes to the organization's mission and vision. So, when you talk about caring about the whole, it is looking at, let's say sa satellite ninyo, looking at the perspective of the vision. What is the vision of CCF? What is the contribution of your satellite to that vision? What is your contribution in terms of leadership so that the satellite can be aligned to the vision? Okay? And how can you now interact okay, with other people. Alam mo, isa sa mga napansin ko even during my time sa corporate, no? Pagka nagmi-meeting, excited mag-present, no? I don't know if this is happening also sa inyo or sa satellite nyo. Kunyari sinabi, present ito yung agenda natin sa meeting. Kunyari ikaw in charge sa leadership development, excited ka, gagawin mo sa leadership development, etc. Pe-present mo. And then pag nag-present na yung susunod, nagdi-detach. Parang feeling na tapos na yung sa akin. Turn nyo na yan. Kayo naman ng ano. And then you don't look at it. You don't, these people don't see the relationship between what am I doing, how does it relate to what he is doing, but rather we start to be detached and focus on what we are supposed to do without looking at the presentation of others. Nagiging ano tayo, we already find them na nabobore tayo sa kanila, di ba? Caring about the whole is being excited with your task, but at the same time, seeing how your tasks actually impacts yung gagawin nung kasama mo, and then you will be able to share and tell them, pwede mo sabihin sa kanila na, look, ito yung ginagawa namin. What if ganitong gawin niyo dyan sa area mo? Ano magiging impact niya? Or ano ang impact nitong ginagawa ko pagka na-complete ko to, how will this significantly impact your ministry or your department? Okay? So care about the whole. Kasi isang movement lang tayo. We are not silos. Okay? We need to work as a team. Number 5 is beware of little foxes. What are little foxes? Little foxes are the constant distractions that chip away our work ethic. Now, in Song of Solomon, Solomon talks about the little foxes that ruin the vineyard. In other words, ito yung mga distractions. They may seem small, pero pag patuloy mong ginagawa, hindi mo natatapos yung dapat mong gawin. Some studies of office workers have revealed that they constantly stop what they're doing to read and respond to incoming email. It is not unusual for them to glance at their inbox 30 to 40 times an hour. What is that? What is it that most likely to distract you from your work? Confession time. Ako, isa sa mga yan exactly ang little fox ko. Pag nag-work ako, tapos may nakita akong notification sa phone, di ba, may lalabas ang bagong email. Ang tendency ko is to go and take a look. Kahit na ano yan, kahit na, kunyari, let's say, may nakita akong email ng Strava, di ba, the offer nila, I would take a look at it. And then, everything just stops. And then, dahil tinignan ko na, nag-scroll na ako. No? And then, at the end of the day, after, marirealize ko, teka, parang wala akong nagawa ngayon, di ba? Parang ang dami kong oras na nasayang. Yan yung ibig sabihin yan. Be conscious of the little foxes. Okay? Common little foxes. Phone calls that are not necessary. Social media. Okay? Scrolling through Facebook, Instagram. Reading news feeds. Okay? Reading news feeds from Google. Okay? Or CNN or wherever it is. Okay? Looking at, reading through, anong tawag dito? Reading through yung mga emails that are unnecessary. Alam mo, meron pang isa. Pag nag-notify ang Lazada or Shopee or Amazon, and then magtatrabaho ka, and then ang galing nilang may lumabas, and then suddenly titignan mo, and then we fall into the trap of looking at Lazada. Ano ba yung pwede kong bilhin, di ba? And then until such time that you realize na distracted ka na. So, be self-aware. This is part of being self-aware. Kaya nga discipline ang teamwork eh. This is being self-aware, knowing what distracts you, and avoiding whatever it is that distracts you by setting it aside. Okay? Number 6, raise your hand or do more than is required. Okay? Be hungry to help. Take on assignments that nobody else wants to do. It is a huge compliment to be known in the organization as the go-to or getter-done person. The appetite of labor works for them and their hunger drives them on. Sabi sa Proverbs 16:12. 20. Now let me just explain what this looks like from my experience. Ano ko even before I came to Christ, even right after graduation, I was really driven, and during that time it's for the wrong reason. No, kaya lang, di ba, Romans 8:28, so God just used everything for the good. And and I remember na I would ang alam ko, if I am able to make a good impression to my boss, I would yung promotion ko mabilis. 'Di ba? Ano ako taker ako at that time. Talagang I was so crazy taker ako. So lahat ng pwedeng assignment, kahit na hindi ko alam 'yan. Okay, kahit na hindi ko alam, mag-volunteer ako. Okay? There was one time, sabi sa merong pangangailangan, HR ako noon, there was a need to do a security parang security process check. Wala akong kaalam-alam doon. Wala. I was 22 years old. I was 2 years out of college. And nung narinig ko yun, sabi ko, okay na opportunity ito. Baka ano to, yung impact nito will be great. So, kinuha ko. No, sabi ko sa boss ko, ako nagagawa niyan. Tapos sabi sa akin, may alam ka ba dyan? Sabi ko, hindi, madali lang yan. And what I did was, I really studied it, pinag-aralan ko, bumili ako ng mga libro, and I started working on it just to be able to make a good impression. And guess what? I carry it with me up to this time. It is a discipline. Kasi sinabi ko, di ba, during the time I was driven by success. And looking back, everything that God, as I connect the dots, no? Yung mga pag-volunteer ko, yung doing the things that na hindi ko alam pero gagawin ko, it actually helped me at this time to be able to have broader knowledge, relate with other people. So it would help you. Okay? So ang stewardship ethic dito is don't be single-minded on your area. Help others. Learn what they are doing. Okay, learn what they are doing. Walk with them, journey with them, ask questions, and ask them how you can help them. Number 7 is follow through. When you say you will do something, you do it. Your yes is yes and your no is no. You are dependable and reliable. Your boss doesn't have to check up on you to make sure things get done. Okay? Ito yung you are pagka-follow through, stewardship ethics, I think for all of us is this. Na pagka sinabi natin sa boss natin na or yung ating teammates na gagawin natin yung may assign sa atin at gagawin natin. Yung wala silang doubt na pag natulog sila sa gabi, hindi nila iisip, gagawin kaya talaga niya yan, kailangan ko ba siya i-follow up, no? Because they know that you will follow through. Okay, na gagawin na pag sinabing gagawin mo siya at the shortest possible time with the highest level of excellence. Okay? Number 8, if you make a mistake and you mess up, don't make excuses. Don't make excuses. People with a strong work ethic takes full responsibility. They practice extreme ownership. Implementing extreme ownership requires checking your ego, operating with a high degree of humility, admitting mistakes, taking ownership, and developing a plan to overcome challenges are integral to a successful team. Merong kasabihan na if you are a new leader, pag pumasok ka sa isang a team is transition to you. You have 6 months to blame the person that you replaced. To put the blame of all the mess that they left on the person that you replaced. Ano yan? Yung first 6 months, you can always, kasi problema, iniwan niya, excuse, okay yan. Pero after 6 months, 7, 8 months, it now falls on you. Kasi ang magiging question is, okay, ano ginawa mo doon sa first 6 months? Di ba? Paano mo inayos, etc. So, yan yung ibig sabihin niya, no? Don't make excuses. When you fail, take full responsibility. When your team members fail, be accountable for them. Take full responsibility for your team members. Okay. When your team doesn't perform at the level that is expected, always ask yourself, ano yung ginawa ko that caused them not to perform well? And then take responsibility. And then do what you need to do to replace it. So the last thing that you want really is to make excuses, okay? And start blaming people because it erodes trust. Number 9 is over-deliver. Okay? Over-deliver. Sabi nga nila, do not over-promise and under-deliver, but rather under-promise and over-deliver. Don't just do the minimum requirement of what is expected of you. Don't just do enough to get by. Okay? Pag may pinagawa sa'yo, analyze mo and then you tell them what they can expect. Okay? And deliver beyond what is expected. Okay? Deliver beyond what is expected. That is what over-delivering is because it will help your credibility and it will also establish the integrity and strength of your team. Number 10 is have a can-do spirit. Okay, have a can-do spirit. In one of my meetings, may kausap kaming lead overseer, and then he was sharing certain things na example, ang tanong ko, bakit parang mababa yung assimilation rate niya? Ay, kasi ganito yan eh, ang daming di ba? Hindi pa pwede yung ganito, hindi pa pwede yung ganyan. And as I was listening to him, ito ang na-realize ko, parang, yung mindset niya is, he focuses on what makes it difficult rather than coming up with a solution and how it can be solved. So I started to share with him, ano kaya ganito ang gawin mo? Ano kaya ganito yun? Oh, pwede naman, kaya lang ganito. Hindi, ganito kaya, di ba? Why don't you try? So having a can-do spirit is getting out of your comfort zone, thinking outside of the box, and then believing in your heart na hindi ka naman bibigyan ng assign o hindi naman lalagay yung assignment na you will not be given an impossible assignment. Okay? You will not be given. So learn to live with yes. When new ideas and changes are introduced, instead of giving the 5 reasons that suggestions might not work, have a positive, eager attitude. Learn phrases as, we can do this, we will figure it out, and we can make it happen. Now, hindi ito you don't say this simply because you want to make them feel good. You say this because you believe you can do it. You believe that there's a solution for it, and you believe that you can make it happen. Okay? So, sabi nga nila, I shared with, during our planning, we were looking at certain challenges and yung mga pwedeng gawin. And I told them, alam nyo, merong kasabihan na necessity is the mother of all invention. Necessity is the mother of all invention. Alam mo, sabi ko, kung ilalagay natin sa ating situation ngayon yan, sabi ko, the challenges are the mother of all creative solutions. Sabi ko, challenges are the mother of all creative solutions. Kung titignan natin yung nangyayari sa mundo ngayon maraming challenges, and those challenges allowed people to think outside of the box. That is what a can-do spirit is. To look at the challenges and understand that if there's a challenge, there will always be a creative solution to get through those challenges, especially in ministry. Number 11, we're going to our last one. Leave everything better than you found it. Okay? Add value to any situation, place, relationship, or job you're in, and have it better than you found it. Warren Buffett said this: someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. I always believe, and my conviction has always been this: our role as leaders is to add value in the life of every single person that is centered with. So that when God moves that person somewhere else, he would have a greater knowledge, more capacity, more Christ-like than when they came to you. That is what we need to be able to do. Leave everything better than you found it, even in ministry. No, I always tell my team, challenge, don't be complacent and accept everything at face value na isasabihin. Hindi, kasi that's how it's been done in the past, it's still working, but rather, I believe, no, that everything can be improved. Therefore, challenge it. No? Hindi naman challenge to the point of rebellion, but ask questions, do critical thinking. Okay, what if ito ang gawin natin? What if this is the result? Why have we been doing all of this in this manner? Is there any way of getting this done faster and better or more creatively? So add value to any situation, any place, any relationship, any person that comes your way, so that when God moves them or God moves you, alam nung papalit sa'yo that you left yung ministry mo better than when you have found it. Okay? And finally, be faithful. Okay? Faithfulness isn't concerned about the size of the job. Faithfulness doesn't fret about the importance of the job. Faithfulness doesn't worry about who gets the credit for the job. The proving ground for tomorrow's opportunity is today's faithfulness, and there are no shortcuts. The path to greater kingdom influence runs through anonymous faithfulness. In other words, we need to be faithful in the things that God has given us. Sabi nga, di ba, if you are faithful in little things, you will be faithful in large ones. In other words, kahit na maliit yung ministry na binigay sa'yo, even if the ministry that has been given to you is small, or the D group leader, you find yourself in the D group with the D group leader whose status is not exactly same as yours. Okay? Or you find a team na hindi talaga ragtag team, you're not sure if it's going to work. Be faithful. Help them, no? And if you are faithful in small ministry work, okay? Then God will know that you will be faithful pagka dinagdagan niya or ginawa niya importante ang iyong ginagawa. None of us, not all of us will have the same capacity and the same opportunity and the same ministry as Pastor Peter or Bong Saking or sila Daniel Kiko or kung sino man yung magaling nating preachers. No? Not of us will have that opportunity. Some of us will be given tasks of fixing the chairs or folding meron pa ba yun? Yung ano yung tawag doon? Yung chronicle, di ba? Giving it out, being part of the ushering team, being part of the welcome team, di ba? But that size is not really, it doesn't really matter. What God wants from us is that we will be faithful, okay, to whatever task that we have been given. We do it as excellently as we can, whether pag-fold ng chronicle, pagbate ng mga pumapasok, paglinis, making sure that the aircon is working properly, etc. Because if we are faithful there, then God can perform through you. And He will give you a bigger vineyard to work on, or a bigger sphere of influence, because you have become faithful. Okay, so those are the 12 stewardship ethics for a high impact team that all of you and your team need to work on. So show up on time, do it now, don't procrastinate, take initiative, care about the whole, beware of little foxes, raise your hand more than is required, follow through, don't make excuses, over-deliver, have a can-do spirit, leave everything better than you found it, and of course, be faithful. So those, my friends, ang lesson natin for tonight on how to create an impact team. I hope that you learned something. It's been a joy to be with you tonight. And I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to share the little that I know, and God bless you all.